Welcome back. Now let's get started with the comparison between the old and new version. There are a few of you who asked, what are the main differences again? Can you also hold the wheel brushes side by side? And before I send each of you a message or photos about this again on WhatsApp, I thought, let's make a short, really compact video. The two ChemicalWorkz wheel brushes again in a short direct comparison, but only here at my table, because in terms of handling, you have already seen many videos of the old version, and surely many more videos of the new one will come as well. That's why it's just a pure size comparison, and what has changed a bit, you can see here, it has been used again. That means here, in the size comparison, you can already see that the new wheel brush is indeed a bit taller. And the whole thing here from the microfiber area, now we really hold them side by side, one to one. And I hope we do it this way. We set them up, and you can see it very clearly here now. I'll step aside a bit so you can see the difference again. That's easily 4 centimeters more in the microfiber portion. That means, of course, at the end, due to the length, the handle is also much further away from the action. Your hand is much further away from the action, and that's why this sign could be omitted here, which was basically no longer necessary in that regard. Also from the handle, you can see again, this is really a point. When you hold them side by side, one to one, you can simply see how products can continue to evolve. And that really gives me a lot of joy, just being in this car care world. To experience something like this, and to show you these differences, and you can see nicely that even with such simple things like a wheel brush, there is always development, it keeps going. And I'm curious about what the future will continue to bring. I find it incredibly enjoyable. So here from the handle, you can already see I should have worn a different sweater, it's too dark. Also look here, the handle is at most 1 centimeter longer, you can see it here at the back. That doesn't make a huge difference now. We don't need a sign here for the new version, of course. The handle is definitely better, more ergonomic, and shaped of higher quality. Doesn't mean that this doesn't work here, but it's just slightly curved. There's a small hole in the back, so that it can also be hung up. Overall, this has been taken to a slightly higher and more premium design level. This means we have a greater curve here. This also feels a bit better to hold. Here at the front, in this small constriction, either the index finger or the thumb goes in, depending on how you grip it. And here, you have these small ribbed areas, and at the back, the hole is also shaped a bit better because many sometimes have such hooks on the wall. So not just putting a screw into the wall in its holder, but having such hooks so that you can properly secure it. Here you only need a screw that is very straight. But if you have such hooks that have those that have a small elevation at the front, then you can hang the rim brush a bit from above due to the long hole. These are the small fine details. That doesn't work with this one, for example. You can only put it on a straight pin, for instance. These are small things. And with that, it is actually a very, very significant step forward. And now comes the biggest innovation. And that is, of course, also the point regarding the attachment of the cover. Here with the old version, it always sounds so bad, just that it suddenly becomes bad, but it isn't. So if you have the wheel brush at home and get along well with it, you can continue to use it completely without any problems. So, don't get too worked up about it or anything. Here you simply have the strap, and that was just a small handling disadvantage with the old version, that you could only remove the cover after you had loosened this strap. Here we also have the interior. We'll take a closer look at that shortly. The strap, as you know, wasn't a problem for me. It didn't bother me. I found it completely fine. There were never any issues with it getting caught or anything. And with this one, it's a bit different now. That means simply pulling the cover up slightly to the side, and then it disengages behind these little teeth, allowing you to easily pull the cover down. And now we can already see the next innovation here. That was a spot that could really also cause a problem. The whole thing was plugged and glued. Not a uniform component. And here, of course, with the new version, the whole thing is completely a, let's say, cast part. So it is really solid. And the nice thing is that the flexibility has still been maintained, even though it is a cast part. That means here at the front, you still have nice flexibility with the old version, but also with the new version. Even though the shield, you can see it again here. A significant difference. If it has become a bit longer, that means you can use even more microfiber parts. Even here, it is still super flexible. I'm really going to pull on it now. Come on, like this. Look. Still, it keeps becoming straight again. I bend it, now it's straight. So that's still very, very cool. Super nice and stable. Now let's put the covers back on. Let's take a look at the difference. Here I just stick it on, set it down, snap, snap. You can really hear how it clicks into place. Done. That's how quickly it goes. Open the hole a bit, cover. That works too. That wasn't bad. And now you have the two small ropes here. I always cross them so that they pull together up here. Once around the back. And now you made a loop here. And you can already see here, when you incorporate a microfiber bundle into the loop, it gets a bit snagged. Then you need to adjust it a bit again, and then you make a nice little loop here. And then that works too, without any problems, but in terms of time advantage, that was now more than clear. This is definitely a significant improvement. I think it has simply been adjusted again, in terms of quality. There have also been a few small innovations that are so simple but make such a difference, like with this cover attachment, with these two small hooks, and that works very, very well, so it can't slide down here. That is, you can't pull it down. So that is the difference between the old version 2022, let's call it that, and the new 2023 version. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, you will see many, many videos now also featuring the new version. And thank you very much for watching. I am reachable anytime on WhatsApp, but Sebastian, take care. Bye.